Welcome back to Fraction Sense Part 3. This is going to be a 3 or 4 videos about fraction division, but I want to begin by talking about division in general. So I'm starting off with a simple task, 6 divided by 2. But even when we say 6 divided by 2, that could be interpreted at least 2 different ways, and these are the 2 main ways. 6 could be divided into 2 as in the number of groups, into 2 groups. So if we had 6 divided into 2 groups, I could visually see it as one group in a second group. That would be 2 groups of 3. But also 6 divided by 2 is the group size. 2 can be the group size. So that means that there are how many groups of 2 in 6? So then I would have to think into groups of 2. So 2, 2, and 2, that's 3 groups of 2 in 6. So either way, 6 divided by 2 is 3. But these are 2 important ways to be able to visualize and then build division so that you can then think about it more easily with fractions. So let's get started with fractions now. Let's begin by talking about 3 divided by 1/2, which in this case I'm interpreting as 3 divided into 1/2 is the group size. So if I have 3 whole units, I need to know how many halves there are in 3. I could skip count by halves, half 1, half 2, half 3, and get the answer of 6, which is what your child should do, but also it will be super beneficial for them to utilize number lines as much as possible, because that's just an ongoing skill that'll be helpful through middle school, high school, measurement in life. So how many halves, that's the group size, in 3? Well, I can break up each one whole into 2 halves. If you've been following all of my videos on YouTube, starting with fraction sense in general, where we use modeling of fraction bars, this would make complete sense that there are 6 halves altogether in 3. So 3 divided by 1/2 is 6. Continue with your child when dividing with fractions to use whole numbers and a unit fraction. A unit fraction means 1, it's only one piece out of a group. It's a 1 in the numerator. Now have your child do the same task with 2 divided by 1/3. The group size is now 1/3. So have your child draw a number line, or you could draw it for them, but try to really get them to purposefully recognize that 1 is right in the middle between 0 and 2. So this is a group of 2, divided into group sizes, groups of 1/3. Well, your child should know that 3/3 is equivalent to 1 whole. If you're watching my videos, it'll be clear how your kid should think about this. So I can break up each 1 whole into 3 equal groups, which is 3/3. So this is 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, and 6/3. So altogether, 2 divided into groups of 1/3 is 6. Now both the previous problem and this problem, both, your child might say, well, mom or dad or parent or guardian, I recognize that I could have just taken the whole number, multiplied it by the denominator, and gotten the answer. Well, that always work. Now here I have 4 divided by 2/3, or 4 into groups of 2/3. I've already drawn the number line from 0 to 4. First I skip counted by 1s, then I broke it up into thirds, 3/3 per 1 whole unit. So now I need groups of 2/3. So your child or you could draw and count, that's 1 group of 2/3, and then keep going and be very mindful of how you circle your groups of 2/3. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 2/3. So the answer is 6. There are 6 groups of 2/3. Now, your child, or you should ask, what about, child, what if I did 4 divided by 1/3? How many groups of 1/3 would there be? What was that pattern again? Oh, I remember. If I multiplied the denominator of 3, because it's thirds, by 4, there would be 12 1/3 in 4. So now the answer, when using 2/3, became 6, whereas 1/3 it was 12. Talk to your child a lot about that pattern, because that becomes really important to think about. In my next video, we'll talk more about this pattern and also about when it doesn't work out to be perfectly even, like 6 and 12. What if you have a mixed number answer? That gets a little more tricky, but really important to think about and not just memorize the algorithm of keep, change, flip, or multiply by the reciprocal. While those both work for a very good reason, it's really important for a child to understand that reason first before they just memorize it. Otherwise, they won't use it correctly in the future. Thanks.